My Instagram has been, in quotation marks, hacked, and I fell for an Instagram scam this morning. Well, on the way for work, I began getting flooded with a bunch of messages from my friends, family, and my followers saying, "Tony, what's going on with you today? Why are you making all these strange message requests? Why are you asking us for money? Tony, what's going on? Something is not quite right." So, to my surprise, I opened up all the DMs and messages only to discover that there has been a secondary Instagram account created in my name. On Instagram, I go by Tony_O_Tower, but this account was Tony_O_Tower _. And for those who may not realize what my username looked like, or for those who were very, very new followers, I understand that this would have been a very easy and confusing instance and scam to fall for. Next thing you know, I became rather perplexed rather quickly, especially when I looked at who the Instagram account was following. It is as if the Instagram account had specifically went through my follower list and followed every single one of my followers to make themselves look very legit. And yes, I can see, and yes, there's another layer. So besides the Instagram account following every single one of my all the people who I was following and who follow me, in the bio, to make up for the excuse that they were, in quotation marks, a new Instagram account, they put, "My Instagram account has been suspended, frowny emoji." And yes, I can see whether it's problematic because it is very common for Instagram and Facebook accounts to get mass reported, false flagged, or taken down for whatever reason. So it'd be very easy to assume that my account might have got, in quotation marks, stolen or mass reported by accident. So that was my morning. I then discovered that one of the messengers was like, that one person who messaged me was like, "Tony, is that you? And come on, Tony, why are you asking me for money?" I was like, what the freaking heck was that? Not only did the Instagram account, the spammers, try to mess with my Instagram account and my social media presence, they put my reputation in jeopardy, and because I rely on social media to communicate as an autistic individual, and I have an easier time making friends and connections in the virtual space. That is why this is a really huge deal for me when it comes to the world of Instagram phishing, scheming, and scamming. And not only on Instagram, which we will dive in a little bit later, it also comes to emails, which can be really eerily similar to this scam I experienced. So my reputation was put on the line, and I'm thinking, oh my gosh, what if people make the assumption or jump to the conclusion that I'm going around e-begging, asking for money, and just basically crying and complaining, when in reality, I have not sent out a single one of these messages. And yet, here's when things get even darker and eerier. Not only am I contending with my reputation, I am also really worried about the fact that my real Instagram account could get suspended at any moment in time. And you may be asking, what does this have to do with each other? So there is another scheme. So within the scheme, sometimes if you get really unlucky, the hackers make a fake account. Then what they do is they message all your followers, get all your personal information, all your personal details, as if they're having a conversation with you. And that's how to get past your security questions and other people's security questions if the people divulge a lot about me and themselves. What they do next is most likely, this has happened to me on Facebook before, where the hackers literally sit around, SIM swipe my phone number, so we can navigate the two-step verification. Then they get past the security questions based off everything they learned from all my friends and my followers. So I know I'm getting really heated right now. That is how the hackers literally get from using my friends' information into my accounts, and it gets worse. Once the hackers are in my account, they either try to take over the account to sell cryptocurrency, do whatever or pull whatever scheme they are going to pull that day. But yet, even if they cannot get into my account, some of the hackers are known to literally sit around and here's the kicker. They mass report and they falsely report my original account as impersonation and as spam. So poof, there goes my personal account. Then the spammer account literally has my entire identity and can go around and saying, look, I've been suspended, my account's been taken away, please follow me here, please follow me here. And because my other account has been suspended, the hackers have a stronger influence and ability to lure my followers, my friends, and my credibility into whatever scheme they are pulling. And does anybody have any questions right now? I realized we have covered a lot in a very, very short time. And if you need me to repeat anything, please let me know. That is why I decided to do this live rather than pre-recorded, so that I can open up for questions and I can go through and explain some of the technicalities just to help people in the future avoid these schemes. Alright, so good. The live chat is on. The live chat's working. I also do not expect very many people to watch this tonight or watch this in real time because there are so many other live streams going on, which I totally understand. And yes, I realize I speak rather quickly, rather fast. So if you have any questions, please let me know right now. And if not, I can continue on about some other very common schemes that I nearly fell for, which are very similar to this. So yes, there was another scheme that I nearly fell for. Hello Jalen, good to see you. What's up and how are you doing? So yes, there was another phishing scheme that I nearly fell for. And it does involve my email account and Uber account. And this started a few days ago, where I began receiving at least 5 emails a day saying that my Uber account was up for deletion in 30 days. I was like, no way, Jose, what the heck's going on? Uber don't delete accounts, Lyft don't delete accounts unless you go into the app specifically and deactivate your account. Knowing me, I began looking, I started diving in to figure out what was going on with the emails and why I'd even be receiving emails from Lyft. So I opened up the email and the site looks official. The Uber logo's there. Everything looks as if it has been developed by a web professional and aligns with the Uber and Lyft branding. That is what got me at first. It's just how polished and pretty the site looks. Unlike when you think about most scheming sites, you basically envision entire websites with bright neon font saying, click here, click here, click here, buy this, buy that, buy this. But nope, not modern day scheming sites that have a very professional on-brand look. So I'm doing okay, Jalen. I had a really terrible morning with my Instagram account. So it's just been really terrible. So going back to the Uber instance, I began digging around and I noticed that just about anybody would fall for this. It was such a polished, well put together site where you would enter in your password, your email, your credit card, and then bam, the scammers got away with everything, including your banking account and your social security number. Well, that is how clever and sneaky a lot of these scammers are. And the only reason I knew that this was a scam is that Uber never asked me for a social security number when I was registering, and Uber never asked me to put a credit card credit card information into my app, but instead requested that I would pay through Apple Pay. Hello, CJL would pay through Apple Pay and enable in-app purchases on my iPhone. Nothing through the website or nothing through the credit cards. That was me on mobile. Another telltale sign that this was a scheme was, instead of Uber.com, it was Uber.com. Uber, correction, it was actually u.ber.com. There was an extra period, and that was the giveaway. That is how sneaky most of the schemers are, especially given what happened to me this morning on Instagram, where they added just an extra period, and most people, they would not notice the extra period or the fact that it had no profile photo, just because the schemer said, my account's been suspended. But literally 20 minutes later, after the account was active, kabam, there goes my profile picture, giving that account even more credibility. Same thing what they do with the Uber logo on my email, even with eBay, even with Lyft too, and I even got some schemes, and I nearly got scammed out of my Apple ID. What happened is the hacker sent me an email saying, Dear Tony, you have violated Apple's codes and conduct. We will be deleting your Apple ID. We will be deleting your Apple ID within 30 days if you do not appeal or reset your password. So I'm thinking, I'm in trouble again. I'm in some hot water. Just like the time that I carved Tigger and Pooh on my mother's dining room table just before the Easter Bunny came. So I was like, whoa, no. Knowing me, I was around 14 at the time, and I was like, slam, bam, kabam. I sent my entire ID and passcode to the schemers, and I was like, oh no. I would have gotten an official notification on my phone or surfing through my settings app if that was real. Immediately, I ran to the Apple Store and got my password changed, my Apple ID changed. What a sigh of relief. That's exactly what I did this morning. After I saw the scam account, I went through my phone and changed every single password I had. And yes, it's very tedious, a very, very tedious process to change all your passwords and to literally change every single thing that you had set up and auto-filled for years. I'm like, nope, I'm not taking any chances. So everything's being changed. Every single account needs to be changed right now. Just in case the hacker somehow managed to get into my main Instagram account, I just need to make sure I'm logged out of every device under the sun, and I just need to really make sure that I have all brand new passwords with all brand new combinations, and to make them very complex. So I did that, even though it took me an entire hour, which was like a huge nap. Fortunately, I was able to rectify the Apple scheme. I was able to avoid the Uber scheme, and I was really panicking about the Instagram scheme this morning, and I still am, just because that account is still out there, and my reputation could get tainted or could be at jeopardy, which is why I'm here explaining every single thing step by step in such technical detail to make sure that my name stays clear. And in case anybody sees something strange or suspicious, to please let me know immediately. Even if it's a message about me or an accusation that sounds out of character, especially if it's from an Instagram account with like a blank username or no photos at all. Sometimes you can tell spam from spam very easily, but yet sometimes the spam looks 100% legit. Hello, Debbie. It's so good to see you. What's up and how are you doing tonight? Going back to the spam Instagram accounts, I would also recommend if you receive a message from anybody asking you to do something, asking for a payment, especially if it's a complete stranger or anyone or anything, or if anything feels off. Hello, Aunt John. It's good to see you. What's up? How are you doing? Or if anything feels off, be sure to always use your gut sense and double, triple check, does that feel right? Does that feel in character of somebody? Even if the person's like, hi, such and such, I just lost my account today. Please help me. I'm locked out of my account. That's another very common scheme. Is people be like, all right. I can help you get back into your account. And by doing so, it gives the scammer access to your phone number and to some very, very personal details. That is what usually happens. Or another thing is the money scheme. The scammer gains your trust through saying, help, I need some help. I'm your friend, I need some help. And because you think you know the person, or your person's been, or that person, or you think you know that account, it just really opens up your heart and really has a guard drop immediately. Therefore, there's an increased chance that you might actually go through and send them the money. Or they might be like, well, I have some good news, friend. I have won the lottery, or I have came into some really, really good luck, so let me send you the money. However, here is the catch. What they do is they send you this large sum of money, the schemers, they send you this large sum of money, then kabam, within a few hours or even days, they reverse charge the money back to the accounts and be like, well, this was a fraudulent charge. I did not mean to send that money. And usually the banking institute or the payment services such as PayPal, Cash App, and whatever payment service is applicable to your location or to your country, usually the payment service, in my opinion, does side with the person who sent the money rather than the receiver. That is a really common scheme where you think you got a bunch of money, it looks legit because it came into your PayPal account, but next thing you know, they're reverse charging it, they're taking it out, and they want all the money back, and then they report your account for schemes, for fraud schemes and scams, and kabam, you get taken down. That is another really big scam to look for, especially if you're a digital designer or freelancer. So I know I'm going on a bunch of tangents and all, but the other day I received an email that was too good to be true. The email read, "Dear Tony, I saw your LinkedIn page. I really love your design. I have a really huge project for you. Please, Tony, I really need your help. I need your help to design 500 Reddit invitations. What is your hourly rate?" And for me, as a digital designer, I'm like, heck yeah, here we go, let's go. They're asking for my hourly rate. So I spent 30 minutes drafting up a project proposal. I immediately sent it over to them, and they said, wow, that is amazing. We can send you $500 right now for all your work. So I ask, why are you sending me $500? I have done nothing, and my deposit and my down payment and I put my requested deposit amounts on the paper, but why on the contract? But why do you want to send me $500? That seems to be a little too much and too good to be true. The schemers were like, no, not too good to be true. It's from the kindness of our heart. I know how tough the market is, so please, Tony, accept the money. However, if I were to accept the money, it'd be nothing but trouble, because what would likely happen next is I would get the money, then they'd be like, well, we sent too much by accident. So the schemers, aka the clients, would reverse charge the money as I described earlier, or they would be like, well, Tony, you need to pay us $250 if you want to keep the $500. We'll pay you back the difference. Come on, Tony. We need help with our bank accounts. Our bank account has been overdrafted. Come on, Tony. We need your help. And I was like, and I was thinking about these situations and scenarios. So I'm like, no, we're done. Block. That was just too good to be true. And I also realized that this is not my normal background either. Usually I'm in my room, but because of the summer heat and where the sun is right now, as I'm filming this, my room was literally flooded with sunshine, and my phone kept overheating when I tried recording yesterday So I do apologize for the really, 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 really festive and really vibrant background. I know. Yeah. All right, so let's get back to the chat. So I'm glad you're doing good, Debbie. Is there anything going on? And I know I've been talking about schemes and scams a lot. I've been talking a lot about schemes and scams. So if anybody has any more questions or just wants to chit chat, let me know, and we can talk about whatever you want to talk about. So right now we are opening it up to questions and answers. Yeah, sorry, I thought I heard a cat. Fortunately, my cats are okay. I thought I heard one of my cats crying, but it was just a TV. Thank you for your patience. Yeah, alright, let me double check something. Alright, it's just a TV going off. Sorry about the background noise, everybody. And thank you so much for your patience. And if the audio keeps going in and out, please let me know too. I have no clue what's going on with the audio right now. But my screen's kind of like jumping around, glitching. So if you hear really strange audio, or if you need me to repeat and redo this entire video, please let me know right now. Alright, we are back, everybody. Thank you for your patience. Sometimes the TV can get a little bit loud. And right now, I believe that everybody upstairs is watching the Lorax. I know in the part when Mr. O'Hare was coming by, and they were chasing everybody to go get the seed. I'm glad to hear quick that the audio isn't bad. I was really worried because my picture was a little delayed, so I always want to make sure that everybody can hear everything I'm saying, especially when I'm trying to clear the air and disclose what happened on the Instagram account. Yeah, it was definitely a really stressful and really upsetting morning. The thing that really upset me most about the schemos is the fact that my reputation was being put on the line, and the way that the schemos were going around the Disney community were basically trying to make it out. Were basically signaling and making it out as if I was begging, as if I was the one being like asking and begging people for money and saying, please give me money, please give me money, please Tony, give me money. Which was really upsetting. Thank you so much, Mommy and me, Disney. If you need to recap, please let me know. I realize that I can be a little incoherent, especially when I'm really upset and disappointed. Right now, Mish, to be very honest, thank you so much for being here. Right now, I'm really still trying to process this morning. Just because as an artistic individual, I rely heavily on social media for communication, and without social media, I am very isolated and very alone in the world. And just to think that somebody, even though it's a scammer or schemer, not sure what their motives are, even though it's a schemer and scammer, literally what happens is they're going out there and tarnishing my reputation by making it seem as if I'm the one needing something, as if I'm the one scheming, and if I'm the one plotting to get money or extracting money out of people, especially if it's a PayPal or any other financial scheme. That is what got me sick and really disappointed to my stomach this morning. It's really hard to concentrate right now. But Mish says, you got this. You are stronger than you think. I'm always here for you. I hope you know that. Thank you so much, Mish. Thank you so much. Thank you. I'm about to cry right now. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you for always being here. And thank you so much. Thank you for your kind words. Thank you everybody who listens to this fully and understands the gravity of this situation. I've had my other Facebook accounts, my other Instagram accounts fall victim to a very similar scheme, which is why I'm really on edge. I basically lost many years of artwork, many years of progress, and many years of memories because a similar schemer went around doing exactly what this Instagram account was doing, and then kabam, they got into all my accounts, took them all down, and then used my account with the most followers to start selling cryptocurrency. That account happened to have my disability advocacy page attached to it. It was like an account where I've been running for years and years and years, where I advocated for autism, where I advocated as a practical individual with a speech disability, and that went years of advocacy, that went years of hard work, years of art gone, never to be seen again, which is why I'm very sensitive to what happened this morning, because I can see something very similar happening to my Instagram account, Tony Hotel. That's why I changed all my passwords, and the unfortunate thing about changing all my passwords is it still does not protect people from like falsely reporting me for impersonation or copyright. That is what's really messed up, especially on Instagram and Facebook, in my opinion. I know it's a lot. It's a very, very heavy subject right now. Mish says, if anyone truly knows who you are, they will know that it's not who you are. You are so kind that you never beg for money from people. Oh, thank you so much, Mish. And also for everybody out in the chat or watching in the replays, please comment when you see a scam. What are the telltale signs that something is not right? Oh, I'm really, really curious. How can you tell that there's a scam going on? And what signs do you notice right off the bat? I'm very curious to hear. And that's very well put, Mish. It's very, very well put, saying that people who know who I am, know my true character, know my true passions, my hobbies. And Mish also says, all you can do now is get the word out. Take a deep breath, hun. You got this. Thank you so much. And that is why I am live right now. I was thinking about doing this as a pre-recorded video and running it as a premiere. However, I decided that this would be best. So people can leave questions and we can answer questions in real time rather than having a delay. So Timothy says, Quick says, anyone who is asking for money is immediately suspicious. Very, very well put. Anybody who's like, give me money. Hello, my account's been hacked. Give me money. Money. Suspicious. Tyler says, yep, we are down in the boiler room. Unfortunately, the penthouse suite is being cleaned up tonight. Maintenance had to come through, clean up the suite and the full show, getting ready to drop into a surprise right as they board them service elevators. Yep. That's going to be maintenance tonight. And yep, we're in the boiler room tonight. So, thank you so much, Amy, for all the hugs and all the support. Hugs to you too. Hugs. Hello, Monarch Malcolm. It's so good to see you. I just really appreciate all of you being here right now for all your support and all your absolute kind and impactful words. Oh, I love you too, Mish. Love you too. Lots of love. Hugs to everybody. And my collar. One moment, let me fix my collar. There we go. Much better. So yes, I call this the boiler room of confessions. And sometimes it can be the boiler room of depression. But the only thing this boiler room right now is missing is a functional service elevator. Unfortunately, the service elevator is out of service. It got replaced with stairs. And for some reason, the Hollywood Tower Hotel decided to put carpet on the stairs. Oh my gosh. Yeah, so that's why right now, when it comes to social media schemes and scams, I'm very sensitive. And I'm very sensitive to the fact that schemers do not know the emotional impact or the actual impact of going around literally jeopardizing people's relationships and communities. I had another friend, I will not reveal the names, but it was another friend from years ago who had the entire Facebook account of 9 years hacked and taken down. And then I had another friend who started a Facebook account for their YouTube channel, and then within days, their account was jeopardized and sabotaged. Sabotaged, similar to what happened to some of my Facebook and Instagram accounts in the past. That's why it's really challenging to have to literally start over after years of putting so much work into something, having to literally sit around, start over, redo everything, reestablish your community, reestablish your friends, and then be like, alright, everybody, here's my artwork, and just the thought of having to do this again after having my Instagram account for an entire year absolutely guts and destroys me inside and out. Going back to my other friend, my friend created her YouTube account, her Instagram account for her YouTube channel. Next thing you know, kabam, it was gone. But then a week later, poof, it came back up, and a friend requested me. All of the photos, all the posts were still standing. Nothing's been deleted or altered except for the fact that my friend no longer had access to the account, which was really concerning. Seeing that the account immediately messaged me, and be like, hey Tony, it's good to see you again. Sorry my account got taken down, but here's a link to my newest YouTube video. However, when I clicked the link, it was a phishing link. The link opened up and said, you've been signed out of YouTube. Please log in again. And I thought, how silly. Because usually on Facebook Messenger, whenever I tap a YouTube link, the Facebook Messenger app immediately redirects me to my YouTube app on my phone. But because it not do that this time, or even show the thumbnail or preview of the video, I'm like, nope, that's official attempt. Then very luckily, my friend messaged me and said, do not click on any links, do not accept any friend requests from me. My account is compromised. I'm starting over. Here's my real link. Here's my new account, and that was the fourth account within a few weeks. This is very disturbing. So I know Tyler, very rude, especially the schemers who go around sabotaging accounts for their own personal gain without realizing how it impacts the receiver or somebody who's disabled like I am. Because I'm just very sick and tired of this narrative where people be like, good Tony, you're now off of Instagram. Good Tony, no more Facebook. Good Tony, now you're off of social media. Because good news Tony, you need to go outside. You need to go find some real community and go find some actual people to hang out with and not have your face on your phone the entire day. So literally I'm like, really come on. Because number one, I have a hard time communicating and talking to people who are not directly within the Disney niche or share a special interest. I honestly struggle with small talk with such as fashion, music, celebrity gossip. I struggle with the really superficial, really small talk that is outside of the Disney bubble. Then another thing is, what really gets me going is when people be like, well, Tony, just get your face out of your screen. However, most people think that because I'm on social media, I'm depressed or I have no life. It is, in fact, the other way around. When I'm on social media, I'm able to live my fullest life. And yes, I realize I can be on my phone a lot. But in reality, when I'm on social media, when I'm engaging with all of you, and when I'm having a good time in Disney World, when I can get to the parks, or even doing live art requests, I'm literally having some of my best and happiest moments in life. Even though they're online, my online life is part of my real life because everything feels so real and so genuine, especially as somebody who has social challenges. So going back to the chat, let's see. Mommy and me Disney Mish says, as you should be. You have worked so hard for your accounts, your followers, your odds. our profiles become a true reflection of who we are, and sometimes when the outside world is so cruel and cold and heartless, social media is an escape. Exactly, Mish. You have hit the nail on the head. And yes, social media is a respite and an escape, and it helps keep me regulated and calm so that I can face the real world. So when it's compromised, it hurts. And yes, Mish, it hurts, and hurts. I cannot barely begin to tell you just how much it hurts, especially when something you have worked for years gets kaput, gone overnight. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Are you serious? And Mommy Me says, Tony, though this friendship has only been on social media, I truly love the person you are, exactly who you are, disability or not. You are an amazing person inside and out. Thank you. Your kindness really does give really warm and genuine hugs. And just like Olaf says, thank you for all the warm and kind hugs. Same with Baymax. And cheers to all of our friendships. Cheers. Cheers to all of our friendships. Alright, so we do have a question by Pebbles Max. Have you seen the photos of the new Tower of Terror queue in Paris? Not yet, but I'm actually really excited that in Disneyland Paris, Disney Imagineers have decided to expand on the Tower of Terror queue rather than detract or shrink away from it. What I really love is that Disney is putting into so much love and effort into building an entire into expanding the Twilight Zone Tower of Terror story, including a boutique shop and a swimming pool, which are very commonly found in early 1900s hotels. That's why I absolutely love the brand new Tower of Terror queue. Just the amount of thoughts and the fact that the Tower of Terror queue is turning into a timepiece. And yes, I can confidently say right now that the Tower of Terror queue in Paris is being turned into a timepiece and a living museum of vintage hotel architecture from the 1900s. That's just my opinion, and that's why I love seeing the queue. Keep it coming. Woo! Cheers, Tyler. Cheers, Stitch. Cheers, Monarch. Cheers, Peppers. Cheers, Mish. Woo! Cheers, Jalen. Cheers, Crick. So many amazing people. Thank you so much. Cheers, CJL. Woo! So yes, I just cannot thank all of you enough for all of your friendships. And cheers, Matthew. Woo! Cheers, everybody. Cheers to an amazing night of friendships. Cheers to all the amazing friendships right here. And yes, Mish, I cannot agree more. Even though our friendship is only online, I just really cannot thank you enough for being here. And all of our friendships right now are online, and sometimes we meet up in person. I find all of our friendships very genuine, very kind, especially as a person who is alone in my real life. Basically, not technically alone, but I feel alone. It's in real life can be very, very lonely and isolating, especially in a very transient city like Denver, Colorado. But when it comes to online friendships, like with all of you right here, right now, even though most of us has only known each other on the internet, I consider my online friendships real and authentic, just like I find my real life friendships real too. So everything is real. Every single thing is real. Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! Tyler says, have you ever seen the Hollywood Tower Hotel from the Grand Destino Tower at Condon, Colorado Springs? Is a double tower moment. Heck yeah, but not yet. What I really love from the pictures I've seen from the condominium is that instead of seeing only the back side of the tower, you can see the Hollywood Tower Hotel sign, and one sight to see at night when you're basically in your hotel room tower, and kabam, you see the Hollywood Tower Hotel with its glorious, lit up, beautiful sign. I just cannot get enough of the Hollywood Tower Hotel either, which really excites me, which really brings so much passion and joy into my life. Good to see you, Matthew. Unfortunately, we were talking about how my Instagram account was compromised and how to spot schemes and scams, especially the phishing scams where the scammers steal either a corporation's identity, an influencer's identity, a small business's identity, or personal identity to peddle their schemes, and they make their schemes sound like they're coming from a legitimate business or person entity. So that's what we've been talking about. Unfortunately, not the happiest night ever. Not the happiest day either. Yeah, it's just really frustrating. It is really defeating and deflating just to think about all the hard work and everything being wiped away and taken away just because a schemer just wants to come by and be like, it's time to monetize. Yes, woohoo! Oh my gosh, mommy! Oh my gosh, Mish, Tony, I need to figure out how to make a push of your town. That'd be amazing. I would absolutely love the Tower of Terror plush. Thank you so much. You're so awesome. I cannot wait to meet you too. And I hopefully when we meet, hopefully we're able to get the Tower of Terror plush in person. Matthew says, can you tell us what happened when they messaged can you tell me when they messaged you scammers asking for money? That's a good question. That's a good question, Matthew. When it came to the scammers messaging for money or e-begging, I found out through one of my Instagram friends that they have been contacted by me, and the account was asking, hey, insert username, can you please give me some money? I'm feeling really out of luck right now. I need some money right now. And what are you doing? How's life? That's what I can tell and presume what the schemer messaged another one of my Instagram friends basically saying that asking for money. And yes, I realize that I might be blocked by quite a few people right now, just because of how easy the scammer was to fall for. I do not blame anyone who I honestly do not blame anybody who blocked me on Instagram today, just because of how realistic the scheme was. And I personally would get really repelled if somebody came to me and said, hey Tony, we've been friends for a few days, give me money. I'd most likely block them or assume that they're a scammer, which I completely understand. And this is why I'm here to clear my name and to get it out into the open air that no, I have not asked for money. No, I'm not running any online shops. Or no, I'm not trying to sell you crypto or anything at all on the internet. That's why I'm here, to make it very, very clear about what's going on. And same here, Matthew. That's why I not answer scammers, even if they look legit, and even if it seems to be one of my friends answering me or asking or making a request. That's when I begin to wonder if the account got compromised, and therefore I automatically block the account, assuming that the account got compromised. That's why I have no hard or hurt feelings if anybody has blocked me on Instagram today just because of that schemer and that scammer. The reason I tend to block Instagram any accounts that are affiliated with a scheme or scam is just so that my account will not get compromised itself. And even if I have to block a friend's account, I'd be reaching out to my friend and be like, well, I'm so sorry, I think your Instagram account has been compromised. I ended up blocking the account so that so whoever has the account cannot continue contacting me. Usually, when the compromised account is returned to my friend, I immediately unblock the account and we carry on. That is how I tend to approach schemers and scammers. And mommy says, I see an account that says Tonio Tao Art. Is that yours too? Thank you so much for bringing that up. Yes, that is my account. That is my account that I post my non-Disney artwork on. And I've actually created that account almost a year ago too. That's why it's not saying new account. It's been there for quite a few months, even though it's been sitting there as inactive, just because my primary joy and focus comes from selling Disney art, not selling, but creating Disney art, and talking about the Hollywood Tower Hotel all day long. I do waste that there's some people out there that are saying, Tony, can you create anything besides Disney or Tower Hotel art? I'm like, yes. However, I choose to post and I choose to bring what brings me the utmost joy and happiness in life. And that's why I revolve my entire Instagram and social media presence around the Hollywood Tower Hotel, which is the best thing on the planet. The Hollywood Tower Hotel, the Hollywood Tower Hotel, woo woo, the Hollywood Tower Hotel, the Hollywood Tower Hotel, the Hollywood Tower. Oh, thank you so much, Mish, for following the art account. Thank you so much, because the Hollywood Tower Hotel is the best thing on the planet. Heck yeah, to the Hollywood Tower Hotel, woo! So yes, that's my Tower Hotel ditty. And also, another one of my chants and sing songies. This is another one of my STEM chants and sing songs when I'm decompressing, especially from a very stressful moment, is Ma Mama Doula, 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 heck yeah, Medulla. So yes, I do love singing Mama Medulla. Aw, thank you so much, Mommy. That means a lot. Aw. I just love having my little towel with me. I know. I gotta feed you some. I promised you ice cream. I gotta get you some ice cream. And yes, I promised Towel a gigantic scoop of Tower of Towel ice cream. I know, Towel. So we gotta see what Matthew says. Other day, a scam caller called me. I answered it and it said I was involved with a car accident and they were going to go through with a prosecution, and I was scared and concerned. I suspiciously said no and hung up. That's another really common scheme. Speaking of schemes, is someone calling you and pretending to be the police, or impersonating a general detective saying, well, we're going to go through with prosecution and trial just to get your personal information. And I can't even begin to tell you the countless amount of texts I've gotten within the last 10 days of people being like, Tony, your toll bridge payment is overdue. Pay it now, or you risk getting a driver's license suspension. Tony, pay it up. Tony, pay this Tony, you owe $25 for this parking ticket. And I'm like, no way, Jose. I don't even have a car. I don't. And even though I have a license, I don't drive. And Tyler says, no mustard on that ice cream. I promise, no mustard on the ice cream. Because mustard on the ice cream, especially without French fries. So when you put mustard on the ice cream, I highly recommend getting the ice cream, putting some French fries on top of it, and then putting the mustard on top of the French fries and some pepper. That's how you make the absolute best ice cream dish at Beaches and Creams in the Walt Disney World Boardwalk. I know, man. I remember that too. It was one heck of a day, and it was one of my best boardwalk days on Earth. It was because I was with all of you two, and I was eating, and I was basically having dinner with everybody. We were having a really large picnic. Matthew says, that was scary, which I was not involved in a car accident. Matthew says, that was scary. I was not involved in a car accident. One moment. I was not involved in a car accident or prosecution and the prosecution against me was a scam. That's 100% a scam. I've also gotten quite a few scammers saying that I'm in serious college debt, or that my voter registration record is about to expire. When in reality, the only times I receive anything from the government in regards to my voter status is through the U.S. government mail. Same with just about everything related to the government. That's why I don't fall for any emails unless they link to an official government website that is legitimate, or to say confidentiality. This is from the government. But yet the schemers get sneakier and sneakier by the day, so you have to be very vigilant, especially when it looks really legit, really hyper realistic, just like the Uber schemers and just like the Instagram scammers. So yes, that is my experiences when it comes to internet phishing scams, which is why I'm airing out all of my experiences with schemes and scams, especially with what happened to me this morning. And in general, my general advice is to always be cautious, especially when somebody is making a claim saying, well, you're involved with such and such, we're going to take you to jail, or making a very exaggerated claim about your taxes or debt that you had no clue how you accrued. So that's my biggest takeaway when it comes to schemes. If something seems to be too good to be true, even if it feels really realistic and it's really amazing at the time, always check in with your friends. And for me, before I take any client offers or anything that's not client offers, but before I agree to something that seems very spectacular or really too good to be true, I check in with my friends to make sure that it seems legitimate and that nothing feels or seems strange. I also learned to check in with my therapist too, who has a really good sense at reading situations. And same here, Matthew. I would not want scammers to take a dime from me. That is so scary with how capable and how sophisticated the scammers can get, especially with the phone calls, the social media accounts, the emails, you name it. There's a scammer for everything, and there's even a scammer for a washing machine if I get so lucky, and a boiler room. Speaking of boiler room, let me show you something. This, as you may recognize, is a boiler room that was definitely not built or from a 1920s theater, not theater but a hotel. This, as you may recognize, is a washing machine. This, as you may recognize, is a clothing rack, and this, as you may recognize, is the HVAC. So, welcome to the boiler room in the Hollywood Tower Hotel, where all things either go to rot or get launched into the penthouse club. You never know with the Hollywood Tower Hotel. And I literally cannot believe that we are in a boiler room today. I never thought of this. I just cannot believe that we were talking about Instagram scammers. We're in a boiler room. What a life. What a life. Who knew? So yes, this is big boiler room, the biggest boiler of them all. This is some HVAC. This is tiny boiler called thermostat. So we got so many boilers. All the boilers say hello everybody, what's up from the Hollywood Tower-ish hotel. Tyler is asking, do you watch any of the Twilight Zone episodes? Unfortunately for me, I'm not the biggest fan of the Twilight Zone, but when it comes to the Hollywood Tower Hotel, I honestly count the Hollywood Tower Hotel as a Twilight Zone episode within its own right, just because in the pre-show, the watch-on narrator says, you are about to enter into your very own Twilight Zone episode, which I absolutely love. I honestly consider my very favorite episodes of the Twilight Zone. Hello, Matt. Good to see you. What's up? How you doing? My favorite episodes of the Twilight Zone is the Tower of Terror, just because it's an interactive and three-dimensional experience rather than being on the screen. And my second favorite episode is The Fever, which involves a haunted slot machine. Something about a superficial slot machine chasing somebody around really intrigues me. I won't give too many spoilers. Matter of fact, that haunted slot machine that says Franklin is in the Tower of Terror unloading zone if you look to the right side of your elevator column. I realize it can be really challenging to see through the grates, and same with the Vincarage's dummy. Do you know that for the Vincarage's dummy, that you actually have to, that the Tower of Terror cast members believe that you must say hello to the dummy or greet the dummy each morning before the Tower of Terror opens. Otherwise, the attraction will have issues all day long. So yes, that is one of the superstitions that Tower of Terror cast members have, which I'm definitely going to be diving into and doing a video about. Same with the Tower of Terror queue entrance and all. I'm so glad that you're here, Matt's Gambling Slots. It's been so long. I haven't seen you in quite some time. And also, Matt Gambling Slots has ultimate filing treated you better by chance? Honestly, for me, I haven't played filing for so long. But last time I saw somebody playing filing, they were literally one fireball away from unlocking the grand jackpot, and I was like, oh my gosh, you came so close to getting the mega jackpot. It was like $100,000 jackpot right now. I'm so awesome. I'm so happy to hear, Matt, that Ultimate Filing has treated you well with that major. Woo! Come on, major team, no sleep. At least for now, heck yeah. Woo! That's what we're talking about, Matt. Filing to its finest. And also, what I find really wild about filing is how you can get a bonus with 4 fireballs instead of 6 fireballs, unlike in Dragon Link. And Matt says, did you get my question? Let me back up the bus, the monorail, and see what Matt's asking us tonight. Matthew is, hey Tony, have you thought about bringing a night? Hey Tony, have you thought about bringing Nightbot to the parks, like amusement park pirates? Unfortunately for me, when it comes to Nightbot, we don't have the best relationship. For me personally, I prefer not having Nightbot in my chat. That's just my personal preference. But I don't mind seeing it in other people's chats. The reason why I don't have Nightbot in my chat is I realize that my chat is not active or large enough quite yet to accommodate a Nightbot without my chat looking like a spam fest. Usually when there's a Nightbot, it releases a message every few minutes, like every 30 to 15 minutes. However, because of how slowly my chat moves and how small my channel is right now, until I can grow my channel to 1,000+ subscribers, that's when I will consider Nightbot. But because of how small my channel is right now, if I have a Nightbot going off, it will make my chat look really spammy and oversaturated with links and commands, which is really unfortunate. But even though it may sound unfortunate right now, I definitely appreciate everybody who is here with us right now, who spends the time to chat and who enjoys being here and chatting away in this community, which I really appreciate from the bottom of my heart. Until we get like a larger channel size, that's when I consider Nightbot. Thank you so much for understanding, Matthew. I realize that I might have some very different opinions than other content creators, which I do, and I do deeply respect everybody's opinions when it comes to content creation, because not one size fits all, and there can be so much variety. That makes all the chats so much fun, no matter what YouTube niche you are in. That's what I love about YouTube, especially whenever I can stream, or whenever I can jump into other people's chats. Just a variety and just the amount of differences, and even seeing different people really brings the experience and elevates the YouTube experience for me. I realize that I might have a hard time saying or expressing my thoughts coherently. Tyler says, as a Hollywood Tower Hotel expert, maybe you would know. Can you see the Tower of Terror from either Walt Disney World water parks? Unfortunately, from what I can tell, no. But you can actually see the Tower of Terror from the Fantasy Springs Golf Club area, just because of its proximity to the tower itself. Most of the water parks are 2 miles away from the Hollywood studios, and because none of the structures are over 100 feet from what I can tell, please correct me if I am wrong. That is right. Please correct me if I am wrong. When it comes to like the structures and all, and there's not enough elevation or even enough clearage because of all the trees in the tapestry to be able to see the tower from either of the water parks, which is really unfortunate because I would love to spend a day in Blizzard Beach admiring the Hollywood Tower Hotel. And anyways, we've been going at this for almost an hour. Does anybody have any last questions before we get going? Otherwise, we will see you around, everybody. Woo! Thank you so much, everybody. And you're very welcome, Tyler. I realize I actually do have to get going because I promised this towel a gigantic scoop of chocolate ice cream and mustard. You are very welcome, Matt's Gambling Slots. And yes, let's go to Blizzard Beach. Disney with Matthew. Woo! Let's go now to the water slide to see the Tower of Terror. And let's see when we can see the Tower of Terror. Heck yeah! Ice cream time, Matt's Gambling Slots. Let's feast, everybody. Woo! Unfortunately, the Wi-Fi reception in the ice cream place and same with the data reception is not strong enough for us to go live. Even though I would have loved to take you all along for ice cream and for my evening adventures, unfortunately, the Wi-Fi out here is less to be desired, especially at this time of night. Well, it's been an absolute blast, everybody. And thank you so much for being here and letting me decompress about the whole Instagram situation. I realize we did go on for some time. Thank you everybody who stayed here and who stuck it out. So we'll see you this Sunday at 8:05 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for some live art streams and live art action. And without further ado, thank you for dropping by this Twilight Zone. You too, Matthew. Uh-oh. Oh no, what's going on? What? I was going to end the stream. You're very welcome, Matt. What the heck is going on? Why is the stream not ending? Woo! A warm word of welcome for those who made it back. And a friendly reminder, you will not find in any guidebook. The next time you check into a deserted hotel, be sure to see who will occupy the vacancy. Otherwise, you may become a permanent resident of the Twilight Zone. Dun dun dun.